But you gotta love these politicians. Everything they say before or just after they get in, they do the exact opposite always. Like, here's Joe Biden in October of 2020. Unity over division. And here's Joe Biden just recently. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are a threat to the very soul of this country. Yeah, he's bringing in a lot of unity. That's so typical of those liberal types. All they talk about is how they're the most virtuous, and they're trying to help the poor people by creating all these regulations which destroy the economy. And they care so much, and they want, love and peace. And Biden gives that speech. It's pretty, I'd be surprised, but nothing surprises me anymore. But definitely noteworthy to see that kind of a speech with that kind of a background. They're basically saying, they've taken the mask off, is basically what's going on. There's that old saying about government, I forget what the saying is exactly, but it's like, they're okay until a certain point, and then once they, run out of other people's money, the mask comes off, and that's basically what that looked like. And now he's calling like everyone who's like Republican or anyone like it to be an extremist and a domestic terrorist. Republicans, the White House called us domestic terrorists. Anarchists. First time? Oh man, it's like starting to rain again. Like, how many times has this happened this summer? Summer in Mexico, it's rainy and cold the whole summer. Like, it's seriously cold out. It feels like winter time. Yeah, you can go pound tacos, Greta. How dare you? What's her name? Karine Jean-Pierre. I guess he's French or something. Said, you must agree with the majority or you are extreme.
And so when you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Yeah, if voting for one party in a two-party system makes you an extremist threat to democracy, then you don't have a two-party system or democracy. Yeah, the U.S. is pretty amazing. They keep talking about democracy. They keep talking about how important it is. Democracy is so evil. It's one of the worst things in the world. But in the U.S., it's like worse. It's like ridiculous. Two parties. Like, of course there is other parties, but the system does it so no other parties get anything. So it's just two. It's like choose blue or red. And it's basically the same kind of people in general. Like, there is a libertarian party, and actually they might do a lot better now because they've actually got like real anarcho-capitalist type people all involved in it finally. Instead of, it was weird there for a while. It wasn't even libertarian. It was like not even libertarian. It was like weird. But still, there's just like two parties, and basically now they're like, but if you're one of the parties, you're a domestic terrorist. So we'll see what happens. Like, they've definitely set the stage here for massive civil war. So we'll see what happens. It's interesting too, because a lot of people said, well, when Trump gets in, he's going to get like Assange and Snowden all pardoned. Nope. And neither Ross Ulbricht, no one actually, because he's just like a puppet. But it's interesting now, they're basically charging him with the same things that they charged Snowden and Assange with. In a monumental irony, both Julian Assange and Edward Snowden stand charged with the very same crimes that are likely to be brought against Mr. Trump. I should mention that Snowden almost for sure is a COINTELPRO. Like, he might even be CGI. No one's ever really seen him in person. A total psyop sort of a thing. He could be real, but highly, highly unlikely. And I've got people who've looked into it, and they're like, oh no. Like, if he even exists, it's a total psyop. But still, it's interesting that Trump's being charged with the same things. He a lot of people thought he was going to let Assange and Snowden off for, and now he's being charged with those things. So this will get interesting. They're definitely laying the groundwork for something. And that's what they want too. Like, I even saw Alex Jones talking about this, that like civil war is coming, and he said he doesn't even really want it because that's what the globalists actually want. And that's true. That's what they want. They want to destroy the US. It's really working. So we're going to see what happens. So I didn't watch the whole Biden speech because it makes me sick to my stomach, but I did see the ending. And man, if you had done shrooms and turned on the television and watched this ending, I don't know what would happen to you, because this is just trippy and weird. God bless y'all. Democracy. Thank you. But Biden really is just doing all the things the globalists want, just like Trump does a lot of them. He did a lot of them as well. He didn't do all of them, so that's why a lot of people like him. And I have to say, like he totally said the global warming stuff's all basically a fraud.
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax.
So you got to hand it to him on that. But he's probably allowed to say a few things, or they tell him to even say a few things, because there has to be some sort of opposition, right, to all this complete takeover and destruction of the U.S. But Biden is just like right up front destroying it all, like on purpose. I support pipelines in Germany. I support border security in Ukraine. I support the oil production in Venezuela and Saudi Arabia. I support assault rifles for the Taliban. Come on, man. But you Americans need to shut up and obey. But yeah, it's such a unifying sort of a message, which is what he's said for like years. Like, we got to just unify the country. Then he's like, well, half of you, we're going to try to kill or put you in jail. You're all domestic extremists. And he keeps talking about this stuff. Like, he even said, if you want to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. Come on, man. Also, some people broke into the Capitol without guns and almost overthrew the government. You need F-15s to take on the government. Remember Afghanistan? Yeah, I don't think you need even F-15s to take over the government. Some old grannies walked around in Congress, and a bunch of these politician criminal scumbags hid under their desks like a bunch of whiny, scared children. Yeah, some truckers went to Ottawa and honked their horns, and Justin Castro fled to the other side of the country, and that's like 5,000 miles. Some old grannies walked in, some guys, some hippie guy stole like the pedestal from Pelosi, and they all hid under their desks, and what's her name? AOC said she was scared for her life, and she's still traumatized by it all. But Joe Biden says, you know, you're gonna need more than F-18s to get rid of the government. You gotta love how he talks. Like, it's just straight out, we know that you know that we are a tyrannical regime that's enslaving you all and stealing all your money and destroying everything. But you can't get rid of us. We've got too much guns and military and stuff. And it's just amazing. They're just like, they've really taken off the mask. So this is going to get really interesting now.